Jon Snow was a badass who fought a bunch of White Walkers at Hardhome, one of the all-time favorite episodes of Game of Thrones. Sadly for Jon in the books, though, he never gets to go to Hardhome, because before he can, he gets poked with a bunch of holes. Actually, Jon wasn't even going there in the book. He was sending Tormund to go there, and then he wanted to deal with something else, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that Hardhome is filled with mysteries. Because in the books, Hardhome was a wildling city that existed and then blew up 600 years ago. Why? I don't know. We're told it blew up, and then we have to figure out why it blew up, because it's a mystery, because we like to drop mysteries and then, spend many, many years trying to figure out what they mean, but it's okay, we're having fun with this one. So in the books, Hardhome is pretty spooky from the get-go. We realize after we know that a bunch of wildlings are heading there, that they are truly desperate, because Hardhome, it ain't it. It ain't the place you want to be. It is a location famous for its hauntings, because it is a ruin. It is a ruin of the town that was built up 600 years ago and then mysteriously exploded. Also, hey, don't forget that this podcast is a thing that I did for y'all, and it's linked in the place where, it would be. We talk about 3 chapters from the book every week. You can read along with us, or you don't have to. You could just listen to me yap. It's totally up to you. But also, don't I look cute in cartoon form? Anyway. But the wildlings are all heading there, because after we have the Battle of Castle Black, where the 100,000 wildlings were all gathered near the wall and tried to, cross it, they were repelled when Stannis showed up and was doing his whole, I'm gonna kill everyone. Ooh, I'm cool. But anyway, Stannis beat the wildlings, and then they all scattered. And because they scattered, a bunch of them were like, hey, where do we go? Because also, there are White Walkers all through these woods and whites, and they are all killing us as we are fleeing for our lives. Finally, though, one of the wildlings, who I believe is a woods witch, her name is Mother Mole. She has some kind of vision, prophecy, whatever you want to call it, where she sees that they will be saved if they go to Hardhome. And they're all like, really? That's where we gotta go? Okay, we'll go if that's what you're saying. Yeah, I guess that's better than this thing. Unfortunately, it does not work out for them, because as soon as they get there, the dead things in the woods follow them and are slowly picking them off. It becomes a whole to-do. Jon tries to send Cotter Pike, who is the head of Eastwatch by the Sea. It is another Night's Watch castle right here by the sea, on some ships to go get him. He runs into his own issues, and it's a mess. It's a mess, and so that's why eventually he wants to go to Hardhome, but then he sends Tormund, and then, he gets all... And it's a thing. And now that I've teased you enough, let's get to the actual point of the video, which is Hardhome. Hardhome, what is it? Why is it like that? How did it get like that? Well, boy, are there theories, and there are a bunch of them, and some of them make sense, and some of them don't, and sometimes you can mix and match them. It's a whole to-do. So first, let's establish what Hardhome was 600 years ago before it went kablooey. So 600 years ago, Hardhome was shaping up to be the first, real town north of the wall populated by wildlings. Now, we know so much about it because there was a maester named Maester Willis who was very interested in the fact that, hey, there's the first real wildling town happening, let me go study it. And so he ended up traveling down from Old Town up to Hardhome and living there for about 3 years, learning about the culture. Eventually he would have to flee because the person whose protection he was under, they died in, I don't remember, some kind of drunken fight, I think. Don't quote me on that one. But anyway, Willis had to flee because he's like, oh, I don't have protection anymore, and I'm around wildlings, and they're just neutral at best with me and want to kill me at worst. So he flees, and he is very lucky that he does, because not long after, Hardhome is struck by some kind of disaster. From what we know, it basically was on fire. The whole thing was suddenly on fire, and we aren't exactly sure why. But the fire was so big, so extreme, that from Hardhome over here, it could be seen, the fires on the wall. The fire was said to be so big and so bright that men at the Night's Watch on the wall thought that the sun was rising when it happened at night. And then after that initial blaze, it was said that ash fell from the sky for the next 6 months or so. Now, the Night's Watchmen who went to investigate, they said that it was hell on earth, basically. There was a lot of dead people all around, everything was burnt to hell, and then screaming could be heard from all the caves surrounding Hardhome. Screaming that supposedly has persisted for far longer than it should have, since it's hundreds of years later. This has led to the superstition that it is all haunted, with all manner of ghouls and creepy snarks and whatever. You get it. I almost said ghouls twice. It's fine. I'm slightly distracted by the ghouls doing fascism today, so excuse me. Anyway, the strange nature of the way Hardhome disappeared off the face of the earth has led to a lot of theorizing, which I'm going to categorize into two main categories. One is people messing with it, probably from Essos. So you have theories about dragon lords, about faceless men, about children of the forest. You have, a group of people causing it to happen. And the second category is natural disaster, where there are theories that a comet may have hit it, like a meteor hit Hardhome and all went kablooey, or that there was a active volcano underground and it also went kablooey, and which is why you get all the ash falling forever. I should say there's also a third category, which I'm going to lovingly call combo, because what if it was a combo of several of those things? Woohoo. So let's start with category one, people trying to mess with them. So there's the theory that the Dragon Lords wanted to see if they could invade Westeros and started with an easy target, that being Hardhome. Sure. There's another one about children of the forest, which I don't know why they would do that, but okay. Then we have a combo of those two where the Dragon Lords tried to take Hardhome, and then the children of the forest tried to warg into their dragons, and then the dragons are what exploded. Theories. Then, of course, you have the theories revolving around the Faceless Men, which I think, while probably the most unlikely, are kind of the most fun, because there is a theory that the Faceless Men used Hardhome as a testing ground to see if their plan for the Doom of Valyria would work. Because remember, Hardhome happened 600 years ago, the Doom of Valyria happened 400 years ago. So the Doom of Valyria happened 200 years after the whole Hardhome disaster. So what if the Faceless Men tried doing what they were going to do to Valyria there? Which ties into another combo theory with the active volcano. Because remember, the Doom of Valyria was all the volcanoes going off at the same time, which just destroyed everything. So the idea is, what if the Faceless Men caused a volcano that was active underneath Hardhome to go off to see, how it would work and the destruction that would ensue? Now, I think with that theory, you have to look at it with a very, very light logical lens, because the more you poke it, it's but why? Don't worry about it. It's fine. Hey, this is future Ronnie, clumsily slowing down a section so that I could do a little voiceover. Just letting you know, this isn't confirmation that the Faceless Men caused the Doom of Valyria. That's a theory in and of itself. This is just an extension of that theory. Anyway, just clarifying. I know we've been jumping all around the three categories, but let's segue into category two, which is just natural disasters. So the big one that a lot of people think is the idea of a meteor hitting Hardhome. The meteor hit it, it exploded, caused a bunch of damage, everything went up in flames, yada yada. Now, if I can be indulgent, I'm going to say I like that one, but I like it in combination with the volcano. Because I think the idea of it being a comet makes the most sense, but the detail that sticks out is the screaming caves, which a lot of people online have theorized is natural gases escaping, probably because volcano. I like the idea that literally the meteor hit and disrupted the volcano underneath, and then it kind of went kablooey, and that's why you have all the ash falling for 6 months. Then again, I'm not a scientist. That could be complete bullshit, and you'll tell me in the comments. Thank you so much. Anyway, whatever the reason was, we know that after that happened, the wildlings were well and truly spooked by the place, and were I do not want to go there ever again. And so Hardhome was abandoned after that. The people, if there were any people that survived, in legend were either taken away by slavers to Essos, or were possibly taken by some of the tribes that like to eat people. Yeah, they were, yeah, I don't condone it. That's just what it says in the text. So because all the people were gone and no one wanted to live there anymore, it basically turned back into wilderness. And so the fact that the remaining wildlings are all converging on that spot, it's just a bad omen, Hey, let me know what combo theory you like in the comments about Hardhome, and anything else you want me to talk about. Okay, bye.